Hello and welcome to this latest Weber Shandwick podcast, where today I'm joined by McGlocklin, who is Chair of our European Technology Practice and also Managing Director of the Technology Practice here in the UK. Michelle is here to talk about Come Clean, a new report published by Weber Shandwick which looks at clean tech across Europe. Now Michelle, can you give us some background on the report?
Well, clean tech has long been identified as an area for huge growth potential. The Come Clean report was actually produced to help communications professionals look at this market potential, this market opportunity, and turn it into reality for their business. Working together with KRC Research, we commissioned research specifically looking at the drivers and what's influencing those senior purchasing decision makers. We targeted 400 European organizations across the UK, France, Germany, and Spain.
What were some of the key trends that were revealed by the research?
Well, there were really four key insights or trends to come out of this report for us. The first is growth despite the economic downturn. Some 60% of European organizations actually still place an importance on green procurement, as much as they did before the downturn. The second key insight for us is those companies who are in the energy efficiency space, in recycling, and also in renewable energy consumption are the likely winners over the next year in terms of who's going to be making investments in them and who's going to be purchasing their products. The third key point is that cost is a perceived barrier. Now that's a bit counterintuitive to the first point, where we state that despite the downturn, procurement is still as important and on the agenda. But couple that with our fourth insight, which is that there's a huge gap in communications, a gap in terms of some companies saying that they don't receive information at all, or they don't receive enough information, or in fact the information that they receive is too complicated, and it really points to the fact that business benefits that would address that cost perception are just not getting through.
If there's one piece of advice from the report that you would give to your clients, what would that be?
I think it really would be around ensuring that companies understand how to reach that decision maker for their product or service, and who that decision maker is. It's no different than a public relations campaign, but there are a few interesting points that are specific to clean tech. For example, the board by far exerts the most influence on policy and decision making around green procurement, and it speaks to companies really needing to address the business benefits, but within the context of a corporation's overarching goals and aims, as well as being able to point out the route to cost savings.
And were there differences across Europe?
There absolutely were differences, and it really points to, again, how important it is to tailor your message accordingly, not only for the audience, but for the market as well. There were differences from market to market in terms of cost benefits and the perceived cost benefits. There were differences in terms of actually which markets care and really look at and focus on green credentials of companies. So for example, in Germany and Spain, 83% of the companies that we targeted have put a very high importance on checking into those green credentials. In France, it's less so. It's less than about 50%.
So how important is digital in the clean tech space?
Digital is important, but as important as every other communications channel. We really focus on ensuring that whatever that message is, whoever that audience is, you are leveraging all appropriate communication channels, so it becomes a very key part of the overall mix, but not in and of itself. At Weber Shandwick, we focus on what we call inline communications, which is recognizing that whether it's offline or inline, it all influences each other and reaches your audience in one way or another, and is equally as important.
Michelle, thanks very much indeed.
Thank you.